So we have this whole situation right now. So we had like the Chinese spy balloon, and then we had them shoot down an object over Alaska. We had like the three satellite beams come down over Hawaii, and then we had them just shoot down an object over Lake Huron, and then Canada reportedly shot down something else. Then a few other countries are reporting, seeing some mysterious objects that some people are saying is this spy material, is this UFOs? So if I'm putting on my tinfoil hat here, let's go back to the 1950s and 60s. What was the big main event going on then? The Cold War. That's when our nuclear buttons were ready. We kind of had our fingers on the trigger, and there are even some stories about some orders going through and then some people just not wanting to go through and pull the trigger on it. So we go back there. When the alien conspiracy started was during the 1950s. If you go deep into the alien lore, and then this is completely off the cuff. Do I think any of this is real? Probably not. Do I enjoy conspiracies? Yes. So bear with me with this one. Most of the sightings of UFOs peaked during the Cold War, and that was when nuclear war and tensions were at its highest. Fast forward to now, where you have the Ukraine situation. China said they're getting ready to invade Taiwan by 2027. And then you have the Chinese spy balloon coming into US airspace. So threats of war and nuclear war are at its highest now. And then we're starting to see a lot more reports and signs of UFOs. Is it the UFOs in general? Are they tied to them kind of observing Earth from afar, letting us develop on their own, not revealing themselves, but when our finger gets a little bit too close to the trigger, we get a little too self indulgent and ready to destroy the Earth? Are they kind of just hovering around, waiting to stop a nuclear war from breaking out and then guiding us away? And I think it's kind of an interesting theory when you think about it because there's a lot of UFOs, and China's like, this isn't the US. And we've seen reports from Commander David Fravor. We have the video of the Tic Tac UFO, and we have other reports since they've got new radar technology about UFOs, and the Pentagon has been open about it now. And now we're in this tense situation with China, Russia. People are talking about World War III. But I want to add some lightheartedness and talk about UFOs because I think that's a lot more fun and interesting. So,
And less scary,
yeah, less
kind
scary.
of. Yeah, what are my thoughts on it? I mean, the only thing is that the balloons, didn't China confirm that the balloons are theirs?
Yeah, the balloon is theirs, but the other objects we haven't confirmed, and they haven't said what they are. They haven't confirmed whether they're Chinese or not. So
Talking about the lasers?
yeah. So the lasers, they confirmed that it was China, but the object they shot down over Alaska and Canada and then Lake Huron, then a few other countries have seen some unidentified objects flying into their airspace as well. So it's not just US and China, it's some other smaller countries as well.
I mean, I can see it. I mean, they confirmed aliens when everything was burning in COVID.
Yeah.
So, can I say it's impossible? I mean, this comes to a real theory about what are your thoughts on aliens, which, like, if you genuinely believe that aliens don't exist, I beg you to look into the ocean. Because look at the ocean.
Yeah.
Where would an asteroid go? Most likely, with 70% water, the ocean. Have you seen the fucking fish in the ocean? Octopus. Look at a fucking octopus. What does an octopus look like? A fucking alien. If you saw an octopus in space, you'd be like, that's a fucking alien.
Yeah.
Or how about that fucking, remember that light fish from Finding Nemo? That's a real fish. That looks like a fucking alien. So that's just on Earth. Never mind outside of the world with all how vast the solar system is, how
Yeah.
much space we have in the galaxy. Aliens, it's not about if they're there, it's when they're here.
Yeah, it's scientifically impossible for aliens not to exist.
Yeah.
Just based on basic math, there's a Drake theory about it, but I feel like when you talk about a situation like this, if aliens were ever to step in, there's been some stories about them in the Cold War hovering over bases and then shutting down the electronics. There was another one about them, a Russian submarine encountering one underwater, and then it shut down their systems, and they were there lagging for a bit. So I feel like the whole concept of UFOs is cool, especially in a conflict like this. It's interesting to think about because you're looking at these people who are ready to just destroy the world. Because realistically, if you think about it, if we got into a conflict with Russia and China, you're just waiting. Like, you have the law of mutually assured destruction, yeah, but someone's gonna do it. Like, North Korea, like, that guy's crazy. If he's gonna jump in there, it's like, "Okay, what the hell?" Like, we're all firing missiles at this point. So it's like, I feel like a war is too destructive, so just the thoughts of UFOs being out there to prevent it in the future, and then the Pentagon openly talking about UFOs the past few years, and then confirming, them finding, like, water on Mars and some other things.
Yeah, I also think that, in my opinion, I feel like with nuclear war, I feel like it's something that none of them really want. It's just a way to kind of scare the citizens of
Yeah.
each nation. So I never really believe when they're pointing nukes at each other, like, yes, we're going to bomb you. It's like, if you bomb us, we bomb you. You're going to kill millions of our people. We're going to kill millions of yours. It's like, does anybody really want that? Especially because if you're aiming a nuke, let's say at the White House, it's like you're going to
Yeah.
kill the people in charge as well. The same goes with if you go to China. If you're nuking them, obviously they probably have their bunkers and shit, but that's another thing. Um, but it is kind of funny to think about because you talk about the Cold War, how it ramped up sort of alien sightings, and
Yeah, and now it's getting ramped up again.
because I also think that aliens interfere in different parts of life. Maybe not the conversation for today, but whether it be with like how insane like the internet is, or like
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, exactly. Like how Bitcoin is, and
Yeah.
other like amazing features. The fucking pyramids. Can we
Yeah.
talk about the pyramids and how impossible they were to make? It's like that's when aliens kind of trickle in. You're like, well, maybe it wasn't our creation.
Yeah, the precision of how the stones of the pyramid were cut, and then the fact that people were dragging them across. And then I talked to boomers about this. This is my favorite when I'm discussing aliens with old people. This is my favorite thing is to bring up the pyramids. And then you know what the response to that is? They wet the sand. I'm like, really? So you dragged a stone that is impossible with today's technology to cut that precise. You dragged that over 100 miles because you wet the sand. Gotcha. How did you pull it up the pyramids? Like, oh, they had an advanced pulley system. Like, what are we talking about here?
We have a more advanced pulley system now, and we can't do that. We can't make a fucking pyramid.
Yeah, and then it makes sense that sightings of aliens would go down when we don't have when we have phones and stuff. But I hate the phone argument too because have you ever tried taking a picture of the sky or trying to take a picture of the stars with your phone? It's like, of course we can't catch a UFO on your cell phone if they're there at night. You can't even take a picture of a star and make it out.